I'm going to tell you about a horror movie. Pay attention, you'll want to hear this. This is a collection of holiday horror stories. The film is an anthology composed of 4 distinct short stories. The director cleverly links each story to a specific holiday. Each short story is compelling and genuinely terrifying. The first segment is titled Give Your Heart, and naturally it's set on Valentine's Day. The main character Maxine is standing nervously beneath the diving platform. She's afraid to climb up. Her coach on the side encourages her, but the other students do the opposite. They laugh at Maxine, led by a blonde girl. They call her a coward. Seeing this, the coach quickly intervenes to stop their behavior. Meanwhile, Maxine finally summons the courage to climb onto the diving board. But once at the top, she becomes terrified again. And the blonde girl and her friends start taunting her again for being a coward. Maxine tries to ignore them. She closes her eyes, trying to recall her coach's words of encouragement, determined to overcome her inner fear. But while she is lost in thought, the blonde girl quietly sneaks up on her and violently pushes her off. After Maxine falls into the water, the coach calls out her name. When Maxine doesn't surface for a long time, the coach senses she is in danger. He quickly takes off his clothes and dives in. The coach pulls her out. After being revived, Maxine looks at the coach affectionately. She's convinced the coach must be impressed with her. She even expects the coach to kiss her, but the blonde girl suddenly cuts in. "You didn't really think he was going to kiss you, did you? He's laughing at you for having to serve detention tonight." The coach stands up, clutching his chest. He turns and goes back to his office. He picks up the phone. He calls a friend, inviting him to go on a weekend trip. Responding to the invitation, the coach declines. He explains that he has to attend a talent show on Friday, organized by his students. The students are raising money for his heart surgery, as the coach has a heart condition. Switching back to Maxine. She's in the infirmary when the blonde girl approaches her again. The blonde girl begins to mock and ridicule her. She mockingly suggests Maxine should stop being so affectionate, saying, "Don't you think he only jumped in the water because of you?" The blonde girl then brings up the Friday crowdfunding event. She mentions that Maxine is not among the performers, and then cruelly mocks Maxine's deceased father. As expected, this comment completely enrages Maxine. Meanwhile, the coach, he happens to overhear the entire exchange. Back in his office, earlier the coach had been writing Valentine's Day wishes to all the students. Now he changes one card, intending to give Maxine a personal blessing and encourage her to be brave. So while Maxine is in the shower, the coach stuffs the greeting card into her locker. After her shower, Maxine opens her locker and sees the greeting card. In her eyes, the coach's gesture is immediately misinterpreted. Her love for the coach has been completely twisted. She's convinced the coach loves her deeply, and there was also an earlier scene where Maxine sat on a stool carving a heart with the coach's name on it. After school, Maxine waits for the blonde girl to separate from her boyfriend. Maxine then quietly follows her. The blonde girl becomes uneasy. In an attempt to ease the tension, she says she will take the woods shortcut and tells Maxine not to follow, but Maxine remains close behind. The blonde girl is completely flustered. She runs forward, accidentally tripping over a branch, and falls into the mud. When she gets up and looks back, Maxine is gone. Just as the blonde girl thinks Maxine has left, Maxine suddenly hits her in the head with a brick. Maxine then drags the blonde girl out of the mud puddle and pulls a utility knife from her pocket. As the blonde girl screams, the scene abruptly cuts away. The coach's door is knocked on. He opens the door to find Maxine covered in blood. She's holding a blonde bloody heart in her hands and looking at the coach expectantly. It's Valentine's Day, and she has dedicated a healthy heart, the one he needs, to the coach. This is exactly what she had been carving at the beginning. That's the end of the first story. Now we move on to the second story. Happy St. Patrick's Day. The second story features Elizabeth, a kindergarten teacher. She's very fond of children, but she has never been able to get pregnant. A new student named Grain arrives at the school today. Grain has an odd, isolated personality. She never plays with the other children. Instead, she constantly stares at Elizabeth, following her every move. After school, Elizabeth finds a strange drawing on Grain's desk. It features a mosquito coil-shaped hemp rope. Elizabeth is utterly confused, not knowing what it means. However, Elizabeth has little time to ponder its meaning. Her mind is preoccupied with how she can become pregnant. One day, Elizabeth runs into Grain while shopping. Grain acts strangely, directly embracing Elizabeth's belly with a weird smile. Elizabeth is slightly unnerved. Before she can ask anything, Grain runs away. When Elizabeth arrives home, she is shocked to discover she is pregnant. She is overjoyed. She immediately goes to the hospital for a checkup, but the test results are alarming. The doctor tells her that she may not be carrying a human fetus. Elizabeth, still in disbelief, thinks the doctor is joking with her. The doctor then asks her seriously, "Have you been intimate with anyone recently? Or any animals? You might be pregnant with some kind of freak." The doctor insists she stay for observation. Elizabeth refuses to believe it. She believes she is pregnant with a normal baby and leaves the hospital. The next day, back at school, Elizabeth is grading homework. She sees Grain's homework, which is a mess. Due to the events of the previous day, Grain is in a bad mood. Elizabeth emotionally asks Grain what she wrote on the homework. As she speaks, Elizabeth suddenly begins to spit up blood. The students are all terrified by the sight. Only Grain stands there applauding. This act enrages Elizabeth. She goes directly to Grain, demanding to know why she is laughing. But Grain says nothing, only continuing to laugh. An infuriated Elizabeth slaps Grain, but Grain doesn't react at all, just continuing to laugh. As time passes, Elizabeth's belly grows bigger every day. Her temper also becomes particularly irritable due to the pregnancy. Her behavior becomes increasingly weird. A year goes by in the blink of an eye. She is almost 400 days pregnant. but still hasn't given birth. That night, Elizabeth is lying in the bathtub with a lab rat she caught. She places the rat on her stomach. Elizabeth's stomach begins to churn violently, screaming in pain. She finally faints in the bathtub. Elizabeth wakes up in another world. A black python appears before her eyes. This is her child. Here people regard Elizabeth as the Virgin Mother. They worship the black python as a deity, and they all live happily ever after. And what about Grain? She's doing the exact same thing to the next victim. That's the end of the second story. And that brings me to story number 3, titled Halloween. Our male protagonist, Bearded, has been engaged in fraudulent activities. He often recruits girls into his home, forcing them to find men online for dating, and running a video chat scam. On this particular night, Bearded finds 3 girls chatting instead of working. He demands to know why they aren't working. The girls explain that they had been scolded. Bearded shouts that they deserve it, calling them prostitutes. He threatens, if you're lazy again, pack up and leave. He then excitedly mentions finding 2 more girls, and this comment completely angers the 3 girls. They decide to rebel. The bearded man is also infuriated, ready to assault one of the girls, to assert his dominance and set an example. Just as he is about to start, a girl attacks him from behind. When he wakes up, he finds himself locked in a room. His clothes have been removed, and there's a cord plugged into him. He sees the computer in front of him, in a video chat state. It was the 3 girls. The girls explain while chatting that they stuffed an electric rod into his body and glued it in place so he can't get it out. They activate the switch. The intense pain makes the bearded man beg for mercy. The girls say they want him to become like them. The bearded man curses and refuses. The shock stick starts again. He gives in. He picks up the knife on the ground. He castrates himself. Blood spurts out instantly. The 3 girls in the living room are watching the computer in amazement. One of them gets bored, so the current of the electric rod is adjusted to the maximum. From the computer comes Bearded's agonized scream. Finally, the video feed goes dark. Then a girl knocks on the door. "I'm here to do video chat work." The 3 girls tell her they're in charge here now. And that's the end of this story. That brings me to my last story, titled Christmas. The store just closed on Christmas Eve. Pete Gunderson arrives in a hurry. He asks the owner, "Do you still have the VR glasses I ordered?" But the owner tells him that the man in the suit just now bought it at a higher price. Pete Gunderson quickly turns around and catches up with the man in the suit. He offers to pay even more for the VR glasses, but the man in the suit refuses. "First come, first served," he says, and adds that it's a gift for his family. Then he walks to his car. At this moment, Pete Gunderson receives a text message from his wife, asking if he has bought the gift their son wants. While he is distressed, he hears a strange noise. The man in the suit collapses from a heart attack. Pills spill all over the place. Pete Gunderson takes out his phone to make an emergency call, but he notices the VR glasses on the passenger seat of the car. His greedy heart begins to take over. He grabs the glasses, ignoring the dying man. The man in the suit is watching all this. As he dies, Pete Gunderson waits until Christmas. Pete Gunderson gives the VR glasses to his son. The son is very excited and quickly puts them on. He tells Pete Gunderson that these glasses can extract information from the human brain, allowing people to see their true selves and what they most desire to see. It's different from what everyone sees, he says. Pete Gunderson's curiosity instantly wells up. He asks his son to put the VR glasses on him. He sees himself using a leather whip to dominate a beautiful woman in black. Pete Gunderson takes them off, thinking these glasses are amazing, right? Then the son reminds him that he has to restart it every time he uses it. Otherwise, you only see what the previous person saw. Hearing this, Pete Gunderson quickly presses the restart button. He doesn't want others to see his wild side. That night, Pete Gunderson takes advantage of his wife's sleep. He secretly puts on the VR glasses again. This time, he sees the perspective of the dead man in the suit, watching Pete Gunderson take the VR glasses away. In an instant, he is so frightened that he quickly takes off the glasses. At work, Pete Gunderson calls the VR company, telling them about the strange thing he saw. The company says they can extract the video from the device and watch it. Pete Gunderson hurriedly hangs up the phone. He doesn't want anyone else to see this. When he gets home, Pete Gunderson finds out that his wife had just taken off the VR. His wife says she saw everything he saw. Pete Gunderson tries to explain, but his wife kisses him and says she thought he was usually boring and didn't expect him to be so wild. It turns out that what the wife saw was a beautiful woman with black hair. Then the two spend a pleasant night. The next day, Pete Gunderson finds that his wife had forgotten to restart the switch. He realizes he saw the man in the suit out of guilt. What did his wife see? Out of curiosity, he puts on the VR. He didn't expect to see his wife in the VR. She tortured and killed the boss who usually deducted his salary. And he also sees the VR's slogan on the device: "Let you see your true self." The movie ends here. Now these stories are quite novel, but they feel incomplete. The necessary connections weren't fully explained. It's kind of baffling and confusing.